don't ever let the views or how many followers you got dictate what feels authentic to you.
Ooh, that's straight off the dome.
We're our own hype girls. We're your hosts, Sahara Embry
and Michaela Bedoyan. From working corporate 9-to-5s to running $1 million companies,
we're bringing you the inside scoop of what it takes to start and scale your business.
We're keeping things real, raw, and unfiltered.
This is the Rise and Refine podcast. Welcome back
to the Rise and Refine podcast.
Happy Monday. We've got a good one today.
Yeah, we do. And It's something that we've both struggled with in the past, but I feel like we're a lot better at it now.
Yeah. I think so. And I feel like I wanted to talk about this in the past, but I almost felt like a hypocrite because I didn't truly believe it in the past.
Yeah.
But I believe it now.
Yeah.
And I've got evidence for that. And so that's why it's a good time to talk about it now. But do you want to tell everyone what the subject today is?
Ooh. We are going to be talking about what happened to our business and businesses when we stopped focusing on the number of followers we had, or we were gaining, or we were losing.
How many what we're at, like just followers in general.
Yeah.
And why at the end of the day that actually probably doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No. And that's like something I feel like obviously, getting followers is the ultimate goal for a lot of people. But for the last, I would say 3 months, I felt so strong about followers doesn't matter. It's about engagement and gaining clients as a result. Because I've noticed a lot of businesses who have less followers than us who have more clients.
Yep.
And that's when I really started to look into it. Or I noticed like a lot of real estate teams or realtors had way less followers, but they were saying they were getting more clients on social media. So I started digging into it and I was like, okay, let's do a reality check here.
Yeah.
What actually matters? And that's what we wanted to talk to you today and give you permission to accept you don't need followers to run a profitable business. And that's not the focus.
No, we've seen accounts that have 1,000 followers, 1,200, 1,500 followers, and they are selling out launches. Now, we don't know what that means to them, what selling out means, or maybe they are just saying it to fill a facade. But at the end of the day, we have seen consistently that smaller accounts can still be insanely profitable.
Yeah.
And just because you have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers, that does not equate sales.
Well, I've seen it the opposite too. I've seen accounts that have 1 million followers. I've seen influencers have 1 million followers, but their engagement is so low.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still like either working they've been pretty transparent that they're not making money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just different. Every situation's different. But at the end of the day, it's important to not get so stuck behind the amount of followers you have and how that can really change your whole business when you stop thinking about followers.
Yeah.
And it's changed a lot, I would say, especially for the podcast account. That's been one area. I feel like, we didn't really post consistently on TikTok for season one. One, because of the time, but two, we were like, I feel like analyzing. Well, you were the one who was posting. So
yeah.
You feel like you were analyzing every little post you put out there? Like, what was the issue?
Analyzing it. And then we, at that time, didn't have a post scheduler system to automatically post every single day. It was me manually going in because it was just, we wanted it to look a certain way, sound a certain way. And that we both didn't have the bandwidth to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And this year, or this season, I should say, and a new year, we decided to, get a post scheduler. So we use Buffer.
Well, we didn't originally use a scheduler because it said the algorithm said, like, if you use a scheduler, it will boost your content less.
Yeah.
And you will gain less followers and less engagement. And so it made us both nervous. But then at the end of the day, posting.
And we proved that wrong.
Yes, we proved that wrong. But posting is better than not posting at all.
Yes.
Is what I learned. I listened to a podcast actually, and it told me that. And I was like, okay, we're using a scheduler.
Yeah.
Because I would rather post. We have this content.
Yeah.
Why would we not post it than rely on either of us to sit there every single day and do it?
Now, if you don't go in after your post and engage and, respond back to comments, message people back. If you're not doing those things, then yeah, your post is eventually probably going to fall flat, or your account is going to fall flat, and your content is going to stop being pushed. But if you're following up on that engagement, or that post being, sent out, whatever it might be, and you're getting on there, you're responding to comments, you're messaging people, you're going and following accounts of target clients that you want to be working with, then you're still doing the engagement and the legwork it's going to take. Just because you're using a scheduler, it doesn't negate that.
Yeah. Engagement is more important than how many followers you have. And we'll get into that. But I wanted to start this off with, why is it that we all obsess over how many followers we have, and like write out, where is the cause coming from? Like, what's the meaning behind, why am I thinking about number of followers? What do you think it is? Like, why do people obsess over that?
Gosh, you didn't give me time to prepare an answer for this. I think it comes down to approval and being liked.
Yeah, I was going to say like validation from others.
Yeah, because we live in such a social media centric society where everything is instantaneous. It's like a microwave society. We've talked about this before. It's like you can do anything and get it, within 30 minutes. Amazon, you can get it the next day delivery, DoorDash, Instacart, whatever it might be. You can get all these things instantaneously. And so when we go and we search for validation, we want it to be instantaneous. We want that follower count to rise. And so it becomes a fixation, even if people are buying followers, even if it's not real, because everything on social media is typically a facade.
It's a good feeling when somebody sees your content, follows you because of it. That's like, oh, you like me.
Or they recognize you from social media, and, they became a client because of your social media. Yeah. That always feels good. And it's like, it's a dopamine hit, right?
Yeah,
and so you want to crave that feeling again. You want to, gain more followers so it continues to happen. And then you consistently post your products, and you get into a posting consistency, which is great. But when it starts to become your identity, that's where it derails itself.
Start to only focus on that number and growing only that number, and then your content becomes, I'm just posting to post to hopefully get more people. Like, that's when it's like, no.
Yeah. It just becomes inauthentic.
Yeah, it does. So I think a lot of people also associate how many followers they have with how much success somebody has, or how much success they have. That is so opposite from the truth. It's not even funny. Like I said earlier, I know so many influencers or businesses who have more followers than, obviously, a lot of people than we do, but yet success for us looks a lot different for them. And I hate to say that, but reality is, are you running a social media account and trying to gain followers, or are you running a business? What truly equates success? There are a lot of businesses who do not even have a social media account who are very successful. We think social media is important, but it has nothing to do with how many followers you have.
No. And there is a special science and a formula to blending your social media with your business in a healthy way. And to be quite transparent, we're still trying to figure out what that balance looks like, because there's certain times, even in this year alone, where we've been super social media heavy. We've been, creating the content, felt inspired by our content. We've been able to, really ramp up our client load because of our portfolio on our social media account. Now, we're in a season currently where our client load is taking the front seat, and our social media has had to take a little bit of a back seat.
Yeah.
However, and I say this because it furthers our point, we have not posted nearly as much as we have in the past historically, but we have still gained followers, and we are getting consistent engagement. And that is strictly because even though I'm not posting, I'm still showing up on our account.
Well, you're not thinking about it every day too. It's not like we wake up and say, what can we post today to gain more followers? Like, if that's the first thing you're thinking, stop posting on social media immediately and rethink why you're posting and the purpose of the content you're about to post.
Yes.
So you should not. And I feel like it was like in the beginning, I remember setting goals for all the accounts. It's like, okay, we're going to get to this many followers. Yeah. This many. It's like,
our first big goal was to get to 1,000, but then 5,000, and then 10,000. And then once we got to 10,000, we were like, okay, well, our client load isn't where it needs to be. So something really needs to change right now.
We actually, the more followers we got, we stopped getting like clients, and we're like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like we still need clients and we had to reevaluate what we were posting, but it just goes to show like it does not matter how
No.
many followers you got.
No.
Another thing is just the pressure from social proof and comparison culture. Like we
Yeah.
talk about comparison culture all the time, but I mean, obviously you see other businesses who have more followers than you and you're like, oh, I need to get to that. I need to beat them and seem like I'm better. And I promise you, it does not matter. Okay. So the next is a myth I wanted to address, which is if I just hit 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, finally my business will be successful. It'll show that I'm here.
It'll
Like,
blow up.
yeah.
We'll sell out a launch.
I finally made it. Like telling yourself this fact that at the end of the day, you should not be setting goals based on how many followers you reach. The most important metric I would say to track is engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And engagement takes engaging with others, not just posting and expecting people to engage with you.
Specifically on those shares and saves.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're looking at engagement, is it going to be, are you engaging with accounts that you actually want to be working with in the future? Are you looking at, are you selling out a specific, are you trying to sell a specific product or service that is tailored to maybe a newer business owner? So if you're trying to do that, then you need to be marketing and engaging with people who are smaller business owners. Maybe they're just getting started, maybe in their first 1 to 2 years. If you're trying to sell out this thing that's catered towards established business owners, then you need to be engaging with established business owners.
Yep.
And that was something that I was, I sat down with a friend for lunch and she's in the social media space. She was talking to me about the different ways of engagement. And it didn't even click in my brain to be able to do that that intentionally for our business when we're trying to launch something. And so sharing that with you guys now of like, you have full control over who you are engaging with. If you don't want to be engaging with a certain person, you don't like their content, you don't have to follow them.
And
you
engage
don't
with
have
it.
to keep that on your
No.
feed. You don't have to engage with them.
All right, so that's kind of where we are coming from with why we think or how we felt with why people obsess over it. But let's dive into how the business has changed when we stopped, because that's the
Yes.
exciting part.
It is.
Like what shifted when we let go of the number. So
Tangible
it's kind of,
outcomes.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, especially with we touched base on our TikTok account with Rise and Refine, but we're like, look, we're filming these episodes, we're putting in the work, we have all this content.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to post it. We don't need to sit there and spend hours thinking about the description. Like ultimately, we spent the time to prep the actual content of us speaking and doing the podcast. Let's just use a scheduler system. We're both running businesses. We don't have time to be social media managers for all of our accounts too. Let's just post the content.
And that was hard for me
Yeah,
to
for you, I knew it would be. Yeah.
let that go, because I am such a control freak over Refined and over the podcast that it got to the point with the podcast. I was like, Sarah, you just got to take charge of it. This is your baby. And she
Yeah.
took full accountability for it. But yeah, recovering perfectionist, it is okay to let somebody help you
Yeah.
get the work done.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to post.
Yeah.
I'm going to take over because your perfectionist brain is.
And I was just over analyzing everything.
You were. And well, I was too. And so I was like, we're just going to post the content. We have it. Doesn't hurt. Don't care what people think.
Yeah.
We're going to post it.
You have to kind of have this backbone. And I think owning a business, you will grow a backbone
Pretty
eventually.
fast, hopefully.
Yeah. And I think for me, it's I'm still learning and growing in that. But with letting go of the TikTok, of the Rise and Refine podcast account, letting Sahara handle that and take full accountability for it, it was a huge step, especially with just posting the content, not having it overly edited, not having these perfectly curated captions, and just releasing that.
And it's funny because like, it's funny because even today she's like, okay, we got to start taking pictures so that we can put it on the cover. I'm like, we'll do it. But if it starts involving too much work, I'm going to cut it off. I'm be like, we're not like, it's working. What we're doing is working. And it's fine. We don't have to do that.
It's just for the first episode when it launches,
so we're gonna
we have
do
a cover
it
photo.
and try it. But it is funny because, and you can do that. But it's like to the point where it's like, but at the end of the day, we're going to post because we have the content. It's been working. And so what happened with the TikTok when we started posting and not worrying about all of that, like, it's funny. We have everything posted and scheduled and I kind of just, it goes, right? And we still respond to comments and stuff, but I'll get on there and I'll be like, I told her today, I was like, what? Where did 20 people come from? This has 4,000 views. And I'm like, wait, it's
and
working.
like that to us is
That's a lot.
huge on
Yay.
TikTok. And like we only, I think we have like 280 followers on our TikTok account. But I mean, like it's 280 followers.
Because we don't care about the number of followers.
We're not fixated on it at all.
We just like that our content's even getting 1 share or 2 share because we enjoy it.
Yeah.
And when we looked at it that way is when it's funny. It does so much better now than it ever did.
Yeah.
Because I mean 4,000 views to us is a lot when it used to only get like 200. So it is growing, but it's just cool to see, okay, when we don't think we're not
fixated on it.
We're just posting because we love the content we have and because we have that content and we want to share it. And that's what we're focused on.
And we think it's usable content. It's educational. And like, if y'all can learn from mistakes that we made or, you know, business pivots that we've had to make, like, great. Hopefully it helps you grow and scale your own business in whatever way we can, you know?
Yes.
But that was something that was really cool. And I feel too that when we stopped focusing so much on the follower count, we were more intentional in building relationships when it came to social media. We've been able to have so many more intentional conversations with other business owners or even girls that are looking to, you know, college age girls who are looking to get into the marketing, web design, brand design space and are just looking for insight and want to chat about their future and what that looks like and just have a listening ear. And so it's just been so cool to see those relationships start up. And I feel like that was not happening, at least on my end of things. That was not happening before about, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yeah, it was more intentional for sure. And it's just so funny when you stop thinking of things, what happens. Like, you know, a couple years ago, Ember Group, we always post. We've always been known for our social media in our community with real estate. But I was like, we put so much time and effort into what we post, into our content. But nothing ever has like gone viral. Like we've had things reach like 70,000 views or 100,000 views, but not go past that. And it's like, okay, we've been putting constant at this point, 4 years. We're coming up on our 5th year with Ember Group of all this content. And then it's funny because I was thinking once we go viral, we'll reach this many followers. Like, sorry, that's me being raw. That's what I thought. Right. And I finally realized, okay, that's not what it means. How many clients are we gaining? What's the content we're putting out there? When I stopped thinking about that, we finally had something go viral. And it was like 700,000 views. But then I was like, that's viral to us. But then I kind of did some self-reflecting again. I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, that got a lot of views, but I told my marketing team, I was like, that's awesome, but did we gain a client from it? Did we have a conversation from it? Like people watched it, but did we add value to anybody? I was like, it's not even about views either. It's about truly like, why are you posting and gaining for business, for real estate? It's gaining clients and being able to help more people buy and sell within our area. And we didn't get a single person from that view, that reel.
Isn't that so funny how that one video can make you have an entire mindset reset?
Yeah, it was cool. But I'm like, so then we shifted our content to focus on getting people to engage with it and actually gaining more clients, going back to doing what we originally do, talking about the area we live in and things like that. It's not just about getting views either and shifting it from that. But it did take that to make me realize it's not like you go viral and it's like, oh, great, we're all of a sudden an official business. Like we've been a business. We're already badass. We didn't need that to show us.
No, and you don't need views to legitimize your business either. I think that is such a skewed view when it comes to being on social media as a business owner. And I mean, heck, when we first got started, I was like, we have to get this. We have to do this. And we did have a reel go pretty viral when we first got started within the first 2 months. It was very cool. Yeah. But we didn't really, I mean, we gained some followers from it, and that's kind of what jump started
but not
our growth on
from
social
that
media.
One reel.
But we didn't gain real business followers, like small business. We did not gain any followers from our target market. Yeah. It was all just random Joes, which does nothing for us.
It doesn't. And I think that so many people get caught up into posting content just to post, to say, okay, how many views and how many followers can I gain from this post? That's the reason I'm posting this. Instead of posting like true, authentic stuff to themselves. But not only that, they see somebody post something that get them a lot of views, and then they're like, okay, that's what I'll do.
Right.
You know, it's like, are you posting the content because you truly like it and enjoy it, and that's what you want to focus on? You're posting it because that person posted it, got 1 million views and
Now you're
100
trying to copy
followers,
the trend.
and that's what you want.
Yeah.
Which one is it here? And you got to start thinking about that. And so I've been really good personally at not comparing my account to other business accounts, not comparing followers, not comparing views, and just saying like, let's post stuff that engages with people and gets clients in, because that's what we want for our business.
Yeah. And there's different types of content, right?
Yeah.
There's introductory, more funny,
Yeah.
you know, just kind of like personable, make you laugh, kind of save, share kind of content. There's educational content. And then there's you're pushing your product style content. And it's very specific to your brand, to your niche, your market, whatever that is. And so just understanding that you need to be producing content that falls into each of those buckets on a pretty consistent basis.
Yes.
But if you have a consistent influx of leads, then you're doing the right things. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, don't overthink it. It's not a business. A business's value is not based around the number of followers and views they have on social media. It's about the business itself, who's within the business, their mission, what they accomplish. So there's a lot to it. Another thing too is, and I noticed this, but do you ever like look at or did you used to do this? And like, for example, if I go to our TikTok right now, like, let me just pull it up so I can give this as a real example. But let's say I go to my TikTok. Okay. I'm pulling up the Rise and Refine one. But what I used to do with our content specifically is go, okay, well, this one got 4,000 reviews. What did we do to get it to 4,000 views? Why was it different? Well, this one only got 600. Okay, we can't ever talk about or post that again. Oh, this one got 500. We can't ever talk and post about that again. This one did really good. What did we do that was different? You know, analyze. When you are over analyzing every little thing that you post and thinking that because something performed a little better than the other thing, that's what you need to start posting, you are doing it wrong. You are going to get burnt out on social media.
Oh yeah.
It's a big
You're going to drive
thing.
yourself cuckoo.
Yeah.
And I mean, with that specifically, if you're doing that and you're like, okay, this didn't perform well, but maybe if we switch this hook to say this, and you modified it a little bit and then trial and errored it. I mean, now there's trial reels, so you can try it there. But if you're doing that, then that's one thing. But if you're sitting there deep in the numbers and you don't really even know what to do with those numbers at that point, then you're doing your business and yourself a disservice.
It is. Do you know how many like things Embry Group has posted that people will probably think is cringe or like not funny, or we're like,
you're cringe until you're successful.
It's like we there's some stuff where we're like, oh, this is it, this is what's going to do the best, this is so funny to us, and then we post it and it's just terrible. Do you know how many times if we stop posting funny stuff, or if we stop posting like what we want to post, if we just didn't do it, something else wouldn't have performed well because we thought, oh, well, funny doesn't do well with us, so we'll never post funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
You just can't get caught up on that one thing. You can post content and see what works for you, but don't ever let the views or how many followers you got dictate what feels authentic to you.
Ooh, that's a nugget. You had ears to hear. That was a good one.
Came up with that just now.
That's straight off the dome.
We're our own hype girls.
Oh, that's so good. Another point to touch on is growing your email list, because I feel like when you're actually growing your email list, you have leads that you can nurture, and nurturing those leads who are probably active listeners to your brand are going to lead to a higher conversion rate.
The metrics that actually matter.
Right.
Yeah. Not followers, not views, but we put email subscribers, like growing an email list in your own database outside of Instagram and social media.
Yeah.
We talked about that the last episode. Client inquiries. Are you getting, like, if you sell real estate in Tampa, for example, if you sell real estate in Tampa, are people who want to move to Tampa following you? Or are you just posting and getting people who are just following you to follow you? Like, who are you really trying to reach? Because if you're in real estate and you're treating it as business, you want to talk to home buyers and sellers.
Right.
So what does your content say, and who are you reaching? Conversion rates. When I put that on here, I was talking about like actually setting up, like, one thing I wish Embry Group would have done from day one is setting up mini chat. and automations because we were missing DMs or we weren't responding to comments and we weren't getting people to engage with us. And I was just telling the marketing girls because they were like, well, we don't really get people to say anything on our comments. I'm like, so why would we use mini chats? Like, because that's how we train people to engage with our content is to not comment.
Right.
So we have to readjust, like get people to reach out because we have these tools. We have buyer guides, seller guides, relocation guides. We have tools for people. We need to teach them how to reach out to us to gain access to those.
Yeah.
And
it's creating content that backs that has a call to action of, comment buyer and we'll send you our free guide.
Yeah.
And it talks about maybe it's an agent that just talked about a success story with that buyer guide. And then you have, it's like, oh my gosh, look at all of this. Look at all these new potential leads that are going to our email list that are now getting our emails that we can now nurture. And it just starts a kind of like stair step effect to where now you have X number of people as new leads in your database who might not be looking now, but you know that eventually, because your name is consistently popping up, whether that's on their email, on their social media, maybe it's through direct ads, whatever it might be, you're going to be top of mind.
Yes, 100%. And just, I would rather someone comment and reach out for like a buyer to comment, hey, looking at this house, or comment something and we send them our buyer guide than for them to follow us.
Right.
That's what means more. Because now I've captured their information and I put a client in my database and then just gain a follower. You gain somebody's follower, you can see their profile. What does that do for you? Right? It's important to gain followers so your stuff still pops up, but that's not the end all be all.
No. And also about nurturing your current relationships, because we kind of translating out of real estate and into brand and web design, because that's our bread and butter with Refined, is we just had a lead come through from a referral, but that referral came from our copywriter, Cassidy, who does a ton of work with us and we've referred a ton of work to her. But because her and I specifically, and Sahara and her, we have a relationship with her and, we're in communication either daily or weekly. We worked with her in the past on her own website, on her own brand, and she knows how we work. She loves us as people. And because of that relationship, she is now sending us referrals for people that she loves and trusts.
Because it's a real relationship.
Yes.
And that's what matters still nowadays.
It's taken out of social media.
I mean, Olivia Sparks.
Oh, yeah, true.
She sent us one too.
Yeah.
So
just in the last week alone. And it's just based off of real human relationships, not on social media.
Yeah, 100%. It's not the end all be all. Okay. And then let's kind of go into when I want to talk about with the followers. I think this is the hardest part to get past. It's the ego and the check with like, y'all know everybody's done it. Checking your account, how many followers you do, how many views, did I get comments, how many saves? Like if you're constantly in that mindset, you're going to burn out so fast.
I'm so guilty of this too. When we were making like our push to 10K, I don't even want to say that, but makes me gag thinking about it. But we really did. We had like a push to 10K. And when we hit it, it was like, when you expect this momentous thing to happen and it kind of just falls flat. That's what it felt like. It was like, great, we're here.
Cool. Yay. Back to work.
Yeah, I was like, awesome. That did nothing. And our bank account didn't reflect the fact that we had that we had 10,000 followers. It's like we didn't half, and I will just expose us right now, but half of the new followers we gained, we probably have lost since then because they were not our ideal audience.
Yeah.
They were not our target market. Now, we definitely did gain quite a few leads from that and quite a few clients. But in the grand scheme of thing, majority of our clients come from referrals.
Yeah.
And word of mouth.
Yeah. And that's where we want them to come.
Right.
Social media, I always say it's more of like our portfolio resume. It's like where we show our culture and who we are. But at the end of the day, you cannot build a successful, profitable, long-term business off of one thing. Yeah. You have to, I tell my agents all the time, do social media as a form of marketing. Then we can do Google PPC. Then we can buy leads here. Then we can do open house. It's like you have to have a bucket for a successful business, not one source of business to come from it.
Exactly.
And so you really cannot focus on followers and thinking once I get to 100,000 followers, I'm going to be successful. I promise you won't be. Because it'll be a really bad feeling.
Well, and let's just pound this into your head a little bit further. followers do not equate sales. Period.
No.
End of story.
Yep.
And so make sure, like, if you are so follower driven right now, just do a self check. Reflect why.
Yeah.
Why is that so important to you? Is it because somebody told you that you should have X amount to reach a certain goal, revenue goal? Is it because you just personally like the way that that looks on your profile? I mean, you know, kind of selfishly and I guess naively, I don't even know if that's the right word, but I wanted a larger number because I thought it would bring us more respect in the industry. And in some ways, don't get me wrong, it has, but we've had to fake it to that point, especially because everybody thinks that I'm just like this extrovert, that I love to talk to people all the time, that I'm just like super outgoing and super bubbly. And granted, I can be, but it takes a lot of work. Like the amount of times I've messed up on filming just these episodes because I can't keep everything straight in my brain, or I have a million other things, or maybe there's like, people walking by this room because there's a clear glass wall. Yeah, it's like a fishbowl in here. And I'm like, people are peering in. Sahara is the outgoing, super bubbly one, whereas it takes a lot more for me. And so make sure that too, and I know we touched on this, but the comparison game. Yeah. Because you can look at something and see something on social media and just remember it is the most perfect curated little squares of content. Yeah. You don't see the struggle. You don't see the insecurity. You don't see the work that it's taken to get them to where they're at. And so at the end of the day, just do that self-reflection and be true to yourself. Because when you're super authentic online, it's going to show and the right people will be attracted to you. Yeah.
I think one thing we should do, because I think Chandler thought I was joking, but I was kind of serious because right before we filmed this episode, I was like, Chandler, can you like get me a clips of like Michaela, blah, blah, blah. I mess up too, but I think it would be great to show behind scenes and we're like, start over, like stop. You know, like Chandler just filmed that for one of the listing tours we did. Cause it's like when you see a really nice professional listing tour, what it actually takes to film that. It's like you go outside the back door 5 times to get the shot. Cause it takes work because it's called marketing. Yeah. And that's just real life. Like people edit and cut to what they want you to see. Yes. On social media. Yes. That's the reality. But
that's a good point. Yeah. They want you to see it. Yes. You're not seeing all of the jumbled mess behind the scenes, the chaos.
No, you're not. You're not seeing the times we adjust ourselves to make sure we're looking in that camera, or that we sound a certain way, or we turn our water bottles a certain way, like, or we adjust our feet a certain way. Like you don't see that. You just see, oh, they're just sitting there speaking facts. Right now we are. But it's not like that 24/7. No. We plan, we prep, we get it ready, and that's how it should be.
We have these checklists that Sahara has prepped for us for every single episode that have all of our talking points here. Like again, proper preparation prevents poor performance. I've said that in an episode in the past.
That did really good when you said that. People were like, oh, cool.
So just, again, do that ego check. Make sure that, you know, what you're actually producing, what you're thinking through, the metrics that you're following. It's not affecting you negatively. Yeah. If you're looking at that and you're simply and truly adjusting your social media strategy based off of it, awesome. Kudos to you. But if you're like me when we first got started and I was so focused on that follower number and making sure that it got to a certain point because I thought it represented something and it would get us to a certain level in business, you need to guess again.
Yeah. We're giving you permission that it's okay to not think about followers. Yeah. And it's almost like a nice little surprise now too, because now I don't think about it and I'm not constantly checking. Right. That I'll randomly get on and you still notice it. That doesn't go away. But I'm like the other day, I went on Refine's account. I was like 12.1. I was like, the last time I was here, it was like 11 something. Yeah. Because you don't think about it. And that's a nice feeling to get to is if I'm not constantly thinking about it, I'm just posting because I love it and I post content and I like making content and we like talking about what we do. That's where you want to get.
And the last metric that really matters is the lifetime client value. And that is all about relationships, building real relationships off screen, how you're talking with your clients, the relationship that you're building with them, what you're doing to help their business grow. That's the success story. That's the client win that matters. And how you make somebody feel at the end of the day is in our book, that is a huge win.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
huge win.
It means that we're doing our part. And then when we get a referral off of that, then it's just icing on the cake
Yeah.
because it means that we left a resounding impact on them and their business enough for them to entrust somebody that they probably love and respect
Yeah.
and give them to us for their business.
Yeah. It's about, I think of social media now more about building relationships. Like if I were to go to a networking event, you know, am I going
That's
to the
good.
networking event to get free food and to drink and to just show up because it's me, right? In the real
Yeah.
estate community, like at a real estate event. Is that why I'm going? Or am I going to make more relationships and have conversations with people and
meet
engage with people
and hear
meet
their
with people.
stories.
Yeah. What's the reason we're posting
Yeah.
here? Which one is it? And I think that that's what matters at the end of the day. So it's cool to
Definitely.
gain followers. It's cool when you guys follow us. We like it. We still are going to ask you to like,
Yep.
subscribe, and follow, and all the things as you should. But at the end of the day, it's not the big number that you need to focus on when you're trying to grow on social media. It's not about that. And don't get burnt out because that's all you can think about.
Yeah, I think that's so good. Well, hopefully you guys can learn a little bit from us and our mistakes when just getting started in regards to follower count. Again, followers do not equate success. So hopefully this helped you guys. But if you like this episode, please like and subscribe to us. You can find us on Apple, Spotify podcast, or you can watch us here on YouTube. You can find us at Rise and Refine Podcast on Instagram and on TikTok, or you can find us on the brand and web design side over on Instagram at Refine Marketing _.
But next episode, I'm really excited. We have a special guest joining.
Oh, we do. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
That is next week.
And we talk a lot about owning a business, but I'm so excited for this episode because it's about actually being in a business. So I asked somebody I've known for several years who's actually technically my employee
Yeah.
and friend, but somebody who went from and I hate to say this, but the bottom of the ladder to just doing something part-time, making side money as a mom, to now running a company, but not her own, running it for somebody else, and what that looks like. So for all of you who still want to, you know, climb the corporate ladder or help other people grow their business and you don't want to take risk of owning the business, I think it's going to be a really great episode. So we're really excited for that. That's next Monday.
With that being said, we hope you guys have a lovely week and happy Monday.
See you next Monday.